There, my dear daughter-in-law. Might I have a word? I must ask, why on earth did you insist on living so far from us? It's quite the excursion I must make simply to pay my son a visit. I'm exhausted already, and I haven't even seen him yet. And another thing, do you have any idea how much it costs to get here? The taxi driver was beaming when he saw the fare. What? You took a taxi to our place? I'm surprised you could even find one. Remind me to teach you about Uber. More importantly, my favorite mother-in-law, where are you right now? What do you mean? Of course I'm at my son's house right now. Keep up, girl. I'm fairly certain I informed him yesterday about my intended visit. Could he have perhaps failed to mention it to you? Oh no, he did manage to remember to actually tell me you'd be coming this time. I'm just a little confused. I didn't think you'd be coming this early. To be honest, you caught me a little off guard. Well, have you tried thinking about it from my perspective? There is nothing for me to do at home. So I thought I'd come by early and prepare dinner. You must be weary with the both of you working and all. Well, sure. Things aren't all that easy when both people are working full-time. Putting that aside for a second, might I ask, how did you get into the house? Did James swing by and let you in or something? Heavens, no! That boy is far too busy for such a waste of time. I was able to enter because I have a spare key. That way no one's time need be wasted. Convenient, wouldn't you say? Huh? Wait, you have a spare key? Why? I think I'd remember if I gave you a spare key to my house. James made me one. Always solving problems before they arise. He's always been so clever. He added that I'm welcome anytime. But of course, who wouldn't welcome their own mother into their home? Could it be that he didn't mention it to you? These things do find their way of slipping through the cracks. No, it seems he conveniently left that part out. I'll have to have a little talk with him when he gets back. Oh, is that so? Well, you mustn't blame him. He has so much on his plate already. In any case, it shouldn't be an issue. We are family, after all. I don't suppose there may be something unsightly lying about that you'd prefer to keep private, is there? No, of course not. We're not a couple of teenagers. We're grown adults. That's not the problem here. Well, in that case, there is no need for concern. It's best that I have access, after all. It's a convenience for you as well, correct? Lighten the burden a bit. If you find yourself too busy, I can do the cleaning. I would be more than happy to cook as well. You mustn't let work get in the way of providing your family with proper meals. We are managing that perfectly fine on our own, thank you very much. And as for that spare key, I would appreciate it if you gave me some heads up about when you are going to drop in. A heads up? Do you mean to tell me I require approval to visit my own family? Whatever for? Is this not my son's home? My own flesh and blood? On what grounds does a mother need permission to visit her son? It's not just your son's home. It's my home too, you know. On top of that, I have my personal belongings, like my work equipment there too. It would be a nightmare if something got broken. Don't worry. I have no intention of laying a finger on any of your belongings. I'm merely trying to support my son while you are out of the house. Surely you wouldn't refuse such a proposal. It seems perfectly reasonable to me. Well, I guess so long as my work stuff is left alone, it shouldn't be a problem. It's settled then. On another note, is it all right for you to be squandering your time like this? Don't you have work to be doing? I'll prepare dinner, so don't trouble yourself about it. Feel free to take your time coming home. Well, all right, if you say so. Oh, Bertha, I'd prefer not to, but I have to ask. Did you happen to go into our bedroom yesterday while you were cleaning? Why, yes, I did. I can't clean without being in the room, can I? What of it? I hope you don't intend to complain about me sacrificing my time to clean your house, do you? I really wish I didn't have to, but I just noticed something was missing from our room. Something personal. You didn't throw anything out or anything, right? Ah, yes. You're talking about those disgusting things, aren't you? There should be no need for such precautions between a husband and wife. And here I was wondering why I didn't have any grandkids, like a fool. I should have suspected as much. That is none of your business. That is between me and my husband. You can't just go around throwing away our things. On top of that, why did you think it was okay to go into someone else's bedroom? Anyone with common sense knows that's wrong. Oh, please. Spare me the melodrama, dear. It's nothing to work oneself into a tither over. There is nothing wrong with a mother entering her son's bedroom. More than that, what you are doing is a problem. That's why no matter how long I wait, I never get a grandchild. Even though James has been so adamant about having children. Don't you feel bad, not performing your duties as a wife? Like I said, that is between him and me, and that's the end of it. We need to save up first if we want kids. If we have a child now, we're going to have to change our work hours, and we can't afford it now. That's why we decided to have a child only when we're ready. Oh dear, that's no way to live. Once you have the child, those little things take care of themselves. You'll see. Also, please don't forget we're here for you as well. If you truly insist on continuing to work, I'd be more than happy to help you with the housework. I can even move in with you two and help you with the housework. Hold on a second. Don't start packing your bags just yet. We haven't talked things through that far yet. If possible, I would have liked to avoid saying this. It's very unpleasant for a woman to hear. However, you leave me no choice. Have you taken your age into consideration? You do realize you are already 25 years old. I was 22 when I had my first child. Of course, at the very least, you'll need to have 3. We must have at least 2 boys, so best to get started immediately. Okay, for 1, we don't get to choose the sex of the child. 2, we don't have nearly enough saved up to properly support even 1 child, let alone 3. Finally, about the whole moving in with us idea, I have to put my foot down on this one. When we do have children, I will be the one to raise them. Thank you very much. I never said I was going to raise them in your stead. And let us be clear, although they may be your children, they will also be my grandchildren. Like the old saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. I would like for you to reconsider your position on the matter. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not so sure about that. I'm the one who bears them, and you're going to be the one raising them. That's how I heard it, at least. Am I wrong? Oh, you're putting words in my mouth now. I didn't mean it like that. And you may be enjoying your work right now, but isn't it lonely for a couple to have no children? It's about time you made James a father already. He's going to get tired of you if you're not careful. Well then, that's just too bad. Nothing you say can change our financial situation. It's just not possible for us right now. The way things stand, we just can't afford to have children. So I again kindly ask that you do not make yourself at home when we're out. And let's stop throwing away other people's personal belongings, shall we? Goodness, you really are an impossible girl. A little charm goes a long way, you know. I'm going to have a conversation with James's father today about this. I'm saying this for your own good. I hope you understand the position you're in. You need to start taking your position as a wife more seriously. Just to confirm, the 2 of you will be visiting us next week, correct? Yeah, James told me about it already. We're both looking forward to it. I'm probably going to be a bit late because of work. Yes, ever the workhorse, aren't you, dear? You really need more balance in your life. As I'm sure you're aware, James is planning on coming separately to get here earlier. His brother and his family will also be joining us. It'd be rude to keep them waiting. James has been so excited to see his little nephew. Children are such a source of joy. Yeah, I think he mentioned it. Well, enjoy the family time then. I'll get there when I can. Oh, one more thing before I forget. I'm sure you've already thought of it, but since Thomas is coming with his wife and his son, be sure to bring a little something for everyone. It needn't be anything extravagant. Perhaps a nice dessert or the like. Since you'll be late the day of, be sure to prepare it the day before. If you put it together the night before, James can bring it when he comes. So I should prepare something for the whole family to enjoy, right? All right, I got it. I'll pick up a couple things before next week then. Oh, it almost slipped my mind, but there was one more thing I thought I should mention. I spoke with my husband about the conversation we had last time. Once he heard the whole story, what do you think he said? He told me he thinks I did the right thing. You see, anyone with an ounce of sense would do the same. Is that so? It must be nice having a husband who has your back. Speaking of which, I also spoke to James about the matter, and there seems to be some miscommunication. You know, regarding your whole opposition to having children and such. After speaking with him, it seems that, in reality, he is not of the same opinion. Certainly not like you made him out to be, at least. What? Hold on, that can't be right. When did you talk to him? There's no way that can be right. Something's off. I swear we had a long, deep discussion about where we are and where we need to be to support a child, and he was in complete agreement. Dear, you know I wouldn't dream of calling you a liar, but do you expect me to believe you over my own son? Granted, that boy is quite a sensitive soul. Perhaps he was simply too kind to say what he really feels, to avoid hurting you. Then you go and take advantage of his gentle nature and forced him to go along with your little life vision, didn't you? That's not what happened. I would never do something like that. He was totally on board before. Oh? I wonder. Not the impression he gives off, but what do I know? I'm only the woman who gave birth to him. Well, in any case, you simply can't just keep going this way. Something has to give, so to speak. I believe you understand what I'm saying, yes? Yeah, I read you loud and clear. Wonderful! You being a clever girl saves me the tedium of elaboration. You know, Thomas's wife is already carrying their second child. Such a lovely girl. A model wife. You could learn a thing or two from her. Tom's wife is a stay-at-home mom, though. That makes having children a bit easier. Tom makes enough that she can afford to concentrate all her efforts on the family. James and I are unfortunately not in the same boat. What did you say? Are you suggesting James doesn't make enough for you? You would be wise not to bite the hand that feeds you. No, that's not what I meant. I just meant to say things are different for us. If you don't have enough money, you can tighten the purse strings. Maybe cut back on a few luxuries. You can always take on more work. A few more hours here and there. There are plenty of ways to make finances work. If you still don't know how to budget, I'd be happy to share some insight with you. I already work full-time and put in overtime every week. If I take on any more work, I won't be able to do any of the housework. If that's the case, then we can revisit my initial proposal. Let's live together after all. I've given it some thought, but I think I have to pass. Even though you complain about housework and such, you won't accept any help. How selfish can one be? Despite being a working woman, your lack of brains never ceases to astound me. You are not a child. It is time to put your family first. I don't even have the energy to argue anymore. Since we're on the topic, there is one more matter of business. Before you begin the child-making activities, you should go have yourself looked at. You mean go to the doctor? What for? Advice on ovulation cycles or something? No, nothing of the sort. We need to have the doctor check if you're even fertile to begin with. What? You're doubting my ability to get pregnant now? Well, if either of you have any physical problems, the whole process would be a waste of time. Wouldn't you agree? This is out of consideration for both parties. If you turn out to be barren, knock on wood, we will need time for James to find another suitable partner. There's not a moment to lose. Are you telling me to get a divorce if I can't have children? Of course! The entire purpose of marriage is to create progeny, to carry on the family line. A wife who cannot bear children cannot be called a wife at all. So, for all of our sakes, do get yourself tested. It's a small price to pay for peace of mind. Fine. You know what? Have it your way. I'll make an appointment today. That, of course, means James is going to get tested too, right? Oh, I doubt that would be necessary. He is, after all, my child. It's simply unthinkable that he'd have any such defects. Not to be rude, but your pedigree is the one in question here. Just so I'm hearing you right, what you're saying is that it's definitely my fault if it turns out we can't have children? I see you finally put all the pieces together. What a clever girl indeed. Be sure to bring the results when you come next week. Don't go forgetting now. I wish you the best of luck. My grandchildren are counting on it. Sorry for being so late. I just finished work. I'm leaving the office right now. Should I pick anything up on my way over? It's quite late indeed. We're all fine, just bring yourself. It's a shame they work you so hard, though, even keeping you from your family. As for here, we've already begun the cooking. We decided that filet mignon would be appropriate. It wouldn't be proper to serve anything less for a pregnancy celebration. I see. Well, it sounds like everyone is going to have a nice meal. It will still be some time until I arrive, though. Since it is getting late, we unfortunately must begin without you. No need to fret, though. We'll be sure to keep yours in the refrigerator. Thanks for the consideration. I could use a good meal after a long day. I'll be there as soon as I can. Oh, no need to rush, dear. We will all be waiting, so take your time. The food isn't going anywhere either. Thanks. I'll see you when I get there. Hello? I finally got here, but no one is answering. The door is locked, too. Where is everybody? Oh, my apologies. I thought James had contacted you. We've all finished dinner and decided to step out for a bit. Please go on in and help yourself to dinner. The spare key is underneath the flower pot. Feel free to let yourself in. Your food is in the refrigerator. You'll need to heat it up, of course. Oh, thanks, I guess. I'll just go in then and eat. By myself. Alone. You're very welcome. We should all be back in an hour or so. Just look after the house while we're gone. I really hate to be a bother, but I gotta ask one thing. What's the matter? We're trying to enjoy ourselves here. Please don't tell me you can't find the key. Oh no, I got in all right. No problems there. What I wanted to ask was, you said you put the steak in the refrigerator, right? Why, no, we ate all this steak, of course. Oh, forgive me. I see the cause of the confusion. There is no steak for you, dear. Yeah, I see that. What is this? Soup? Yes, nothing like a refreshing bowl of warm soup after a hard day's work. After all, today is to celebrate Thomas's wife. I never said anything about there being steak for you. Uh-huh. So that's how it is. I was expecting something. Wasn't sure what, though. Oh, come now. It's too early for you to be enjoying that kind of expensive meal. Soup should be more than enough for a wife who's abdicating her duties. Yes, For a moment, I had forgotten that my entire worth as a woman is dictated by the contents of my womb. Thanks for the reminder, though. Always keeping me grounded. I sincerely hope I didn't hurt your feelings. It's just that there is a proper way of these things. Surely you understand. Not at all. Actually, I'm grateful. Thanks to this, I finally made up my mind. And it's all thanks to you, my loving mother-in-law. What are you going on about this time? What do you mean you made up your mind? Oh, nothing. You'll see soon enough. Look forward to it. I'm not sure I appreciate your tone. No matter. If you would also like to be celebrated like Thomas's wonderful wife, try having a child or two. Her little boy is the most adorable thing you've ever seen. Speaking of which, you didn't forget to get tested, did you? Of course not. I stopped by the doctor's just like I promised. I had all the tests done. I am perfectly healthy and everything is in proper working order. I hadn't given it any thought, but it's kind of nice to know, now that it's done. Is that so? I must admit I had my doubts. I'd like to personally see the results myself, to be honest. However, if that's the case, then you can finally start on your journey to motherhood. We'll be back shortly. Do finish up eating before we get back. Oh, and it shouldn't need to be said, but make sure to clean up after yourself. Lastly, we were in a hurry to enjoy some time outside, so there are a few more dishes that need cleaning. Be a dear and wash them with yours. I'd love to, but actually, I already left. I'm heading home already, so I'm afraid you'll have to do your own dishes. You left? Why? You could have at least greeted Thomas's family. Quite rude of you. Well, think about it. Today is a day for celebration. The whole point was to get together for Tom's wife, right? A childless wife like me would just be in the way. You all just enjoy your time as a family. Is that so? That certainly is the case. However, we had no intention of alienating you. Well, if you insist, I suppose it can't be helped. Also, I think James was saying something about staying over. I'd appreciate it if you can take care of him for me. It's not often we get to enjoy a 3-day weekend, and I'm sure he wants to relax. Tell him not to mind me and to take it easy. My, aren't you being sweet all of a sudden? Well, that is the proper attitude a wife should take to begin with, I suppose. Very well. James will be staying here, then. Make sure at least the house is clean for when he returns. I got it. The place will be spotless. James won't even recognize it when he gets back. Tell him to take it easy and enjoy his break. You! What have you done? What is the meaning of this? James arrived home only to be greeted by this atrocious scene. He called me, panicking. I scarcely believed him, but after seeing it with my own eyes. He also told me you haven't been home since yesterday. Where have you been this whole time, and what have you been doing? Explain yourself. Yeah. First, why isn't James the one contacting me about our home? Why is it you're the one asking me about it? Is he too scared? Do you think he has time to talk to you? He's trying to get this disaster under control. He's going to be here forever with this mess. He's been at it this whole time and isn't making any headway. You mean he's actually cleaning? Wow. I honestly didn't think he was capable. I'm impressed. What are you talking about? I won't have you speak of my son like he's some kind of invalid. That doesn't matter. We need to do something about this disgusting house. Civil people can't live like this. It's obscene. What am I talking about? I guess you don't know about how we split the chores. That man can't even be bothered to carry his laundry to the laundry room. Taking the dishes to the sink is too much of a chore for him, too. All he does at home is lay on the couch and play video games. I'm not even exaggerating about being surprised. I honestly thought something was broken in his brain or something. He shouldn't have to. Keeping the house in a presentable manner is the wife's responsibility. It's only natural for you to take care of such tasks. It's time you listen to me. I may be a wife, but I'm not a housewife. I work just as much as he does. He can clean a plate. What nonsense are you spouting now? I didn't ask for justification. It's the wife's obligation to take care of the home. That is how it has always been and how it must be. And that's how useless husbands are made. You're the reason James can't even wipe the counter. It's all making sense now. That way of thinking made him the man-child he is today. Since when have you developed such a foul attitude? Forget it. Enough of this. I will no longer engage in this game you're playing. Just get back here and start cleaning already. You're the one who made this mess, aren't you? I have no idea what you're talking about. I made sure to clean the whole place thoroughly. Just like you told me. The problem was too much waste. We need to cut back. Get rid of needless expenses. What? You've gone mad. This house looks like it's been burgled. There isn't a single place in the house that a sane person could declare clean. For example, you know how expensive dry cleaning is, right? It's a waste to send suits to the cleaners, so I just put them all in the washing machine. You can't put them in the washing machine! You'll destroy their shape! You'll never get wrinkles out after that. They're ruined! Oh, and I tried making some nice cheap soup. Can't have the good stuff until we have a kid, right? But I also had the bath running. I thought James would like to relax once he got back. And it was just about to overflow. Once I noticed, I ran to stop it, of course. But I ended up slipping. That's why the whole bathtub is full of soup. What? Why would you carry the soup to the bath in the first place? This is a madhouse. I can't even grasp what you're trying to say. Are you no longer capable of speaking coherently? Have you lost your mind? I did remember to put the laundry out to dry, though. Little did I know that today's forecast was torrential downpour, though. Don't you just hate how heavy soaking clothing is? They take forever to dry, too. Oh, and... Stop! Wait. Don't tell me there's more. I have had quite enough of your antics for one day. I may not have children, but I pride myself on taking care of the house after all. After thinking long and hard on where we can make cutbacks, the answer was staring me right in the face. I unplugged the fridge. It's a real energy guzzler. This is going to lead to some huge savings. Stop fooling around. This is serious. What have you done to this place? What is the meaning of all this? Whatever do you mean? I just finally took your advice to heart. Start small and work your way up. If we want children, we have to make cutbacks. I didn't mean like this, you fool! You can't possibly believe that any of this is reasonable. Oh, just you wait. If you can't see the reason in it, don't worry. We're just getting started. What do you mean? I will not play these games with you any longer. Oh, don't say that. I left a special present. For my two favorite people. Present? I'm sure you mean punishment. Well, out with it. What more wickedness could you have possibly worked? Oh, the house must have been too messed up to notice. It's attached to the fridge, under the smiley face magnet. It's divorce papers. Divorce papers? What is the meaning of this? Why did you get divorce papers? Gee, let me think about it. I have a husband who refuses to stand up for his wife. A mother-in-law from the 1600s who sees women as nothing more than baby-making machines. And a father-in-law who can't be bothered to knock some sense into the other two. You've treated me like a failure just because I haven't had a child yet. And I have had it with all of you. Of course! What other word is there to describe a wife that won't have children than a failure? What value does a wife who won't make children have? Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do about that. What do you mean, nothing you can do? Oh, did I forget to mention? This is really just the icing on the cake. But James is shooting blanks. What? He went with me for the fertility testing. You should have seen the look on his face when the doctor said he couldn't have kids. I almost felt bad for him for a second. No, this can't be. There must be some kind of mistake. There's no way my child is. Oh, it's all true. And what do you think is the first thing he said to me when he found out he was sterile? He looked right in my eyes and asked me to tell you that it was me. I've been through a lot with you people, and I think my skin is a layer thicker than most because of it. But even I was stupefied after hearing that. He had absolutely no reservations with putting his wife on the chopping block. Also, Mommy wouldn't think so poorly of him. Wait. Stop. This is James we're talking about. That just can't be. Yeah, I'd say I'm sorry to tell you, but we both know that'd be a lie. So, like I said, no matter how much I try, it's not going to change anything. No, it can't be. You're lying, you snake. I'm sure you are the real reason. It's you who can't have children. Listen, lady, I've had enough of you already. But I'd be happy to bring you to the doctors if you would like. We'll bring James too, of course. You can hear it straight from the doctor's mouth. I think you could use a dose of reality. Wait, fine. I will for now assume that what you are saying is true. Even still, are you saying you intend to abandon your husband? I mean, yes, certainly children are a blessing, but a husband and wife is more than just children. The two of you can live your lives together, supporting one another. Didn't you swear to stay together in sickness and health? Till death do you part? Wow, that's so strange. I could have sworn one of the many pearls of wisdom you gave me was something about the whole point of marriage was to make kids. Do you mean to say there was some recent event that managed to change your life philosophy in such a short time? Yes, all right. Fine, I may have said something of the sort. However, at that time, I couldn't imagine that James would have been the cause. Yeah, I'm sorry for you. I really am. But you know, I have my hopes and dreams too. I wanted children. I wanted lovely in-laws that were kind and caring. I wanted a husband who would support me and protect me. Who would stand beside me, not behind me. You're being rash, dear. Think about this for a moment. You must realize being a divorcee looks bad. Even without children, you can still have a life together. There is so much to do, so much to experience as a couple. Once you get divorced, it will be too late for regrets. Please, what are you talking about? Half the people our age are divorced. It's not a scarlet letter anymore. And even if it was, as far as shame goes, divorce is nothing compared to being that man's wife. Watch your mouth. I won't tolerate you insulting my son. I don't really care what you tolerate or not. Just have him sign the papers. Or else I'll go around telling everyone what a witch you are. I wonder what your snooty neighbors would say if they knew about all this. I'm cutting you people out of my life, so it doesn't matter to me. Wait, that's not necessary. I understand. You needn't do anything rash. Don't be scared. I'm really grateful for all your advice, you know. Especially the cutting back part. Thanks to you, I am about to cut the biggest expense in my life. Your son! Works out perfectly, don't you think? No, you can't be divorced. I won't stand for it. We have Thomas's family. We don't need any more grandchildren. Just please reconsider the divorce. I don't think so. A monster mother-in-law who can't stop babying her son. And a mama's boy who's petrified to even speak up for himself. I wouldn't wish you two on my worst enemy. So with that, I'd like to make a return. He's all yours. Monster mom-in-law! Monster is about the nicest word I can come up with for you. Trash mom, garbage mom. I have some others if you prefer 4-letter words. Maybe you just never got the memo, but it's the 21st century. Picking on your daughter-in-law isn't in vogue anymore. I have never once picked on you. Everything I have said or done was in the best interest of my son and his family. You're just trying to rouse sympathy by playing the victim. Wow. I have to say, your lack of self-awareness is actually kinda impressive. Well, let's see if we can't jog your memory a bit. You said dinner the other night was to celebrate Tom's wife's pregnancy. But when I got to the house, I noticed the number of dirty dishes didn't add up. That got me thinking. A properly cooked filet mignon is pretty rare in the center. Is that really okay for a pregnant woman to be eating? Of course, she didn't eat it, did she? It can't be helped. She had to avoid that kind of food for the baby. Sure, it's for the baby. One little problem with that logic, though. If she was the person of honor, wouldn't it make sense to serve, I don't know, food she could actually eat? Well, that's... Sure, in hindsight, perhaps it wasn't the wisest choice. You know, if you keep harassing her like you do, you're going to lose her too. I'm done with you all, so I'm saying this to you and Tom both. Seems like she's still putting up with your behavior now, but you never know when a woman will snap. Make sure she doesn't turn out like me. Wives need to know their place. I will not be lectured by a childless woman who intends to abandon her husband in his time of need. Not like your son was going to fix that problem. I'm not going to be your daughter-in-law anymore anyway. So say whatever you want. I'm free. My only regret is not standing up to you sooner. You cannot do this. Listen, everything is fine. Things got slightly out of hand. Just come back home and all will be forgiven. None of my stuff is there anymore. There is no place for me there either. Good luck with the cleanup, though. So long, witch. Wait, this is not over. I will not acknowledge this divorce. Hey, are you listening? Answer me. We are not finished here. I had already predicted James and his mom would come hunt me down, so I stayed in a hotel near my company for a few days. Not having to deal with him made it feel like a vacation. Surprisingly, it seems they paid my parents a visit too. Of course, my parents were less than welcoming. Neither of them could stand up to my dad, and they ran with their tails between their legs. A few days later, James signed the divorce papers and sent them to my parents' place. After that, James messaged me every day, begging for me to come back. Once I submitted the papers, I blocked the whole family. I found a new place and am happily living on my own. I started a collection of all the flashy plants that James hated. I make sure to give them lots of love every day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.
Alicia! The fridge? Huh? What about the fridge? Your skull is so thick, isn't it? You've always been a little dense. Didn't I tell you to clean out the fridge and throw away the trash? I feel like I'm the only one who cares about taking care of your place. Or maybe you're just doing this on purpose just to spite me. Anyway, I took the liberty to go ahead and clean everything out. Make sure this doesn't happen again. You really should be ashamed of yourself. You need to reflect on your actions and get yourself together before the wedding. There are going to be problems if you don't. Don't tell me you broke into my house again without telling anyone. You've got to stop doing that. We can take care of ourselves, and if we leave things a little unkempt, that's for us to deal with. We're not children who need supervising. Huh? Don't talk to me like I'm some kind of thief. You should be thanking me for taking my valuable time out of my day to do the chores you're supposed to do. If I don't do it, who will? I know you definitely can't afford to hire a cleaning service. I really am thankful for the favor, but like I said, what we do with our house and how we live in it is for Kevin and me to decide. Well, if that's the case, was it yours and Kevin's decision to let your house become a trash dump? Kathy, it's not trash, it's food. Besides, it's bad manners to be opening up and snooping around our fridge anyway. Huh? What are you talking about? It's garbage. There's no other word for it. You can tell just by looking at it. I didn't even want to open the containers because I didn't want to know what it smelled like. They're called leftovers? From yesterday? It's not like it's a week old. I was gonna whip something up with them for tonight's dinner. If that was your plan, then it's still garbage. No. Excuse me. Wait a minute. You weren't planning on making Kevin eat that rubbish too, were you? Yes, I was, but you're twisting my words. It's perfectly good food. I planned ahead to have dinner made beforehand, so even if I came home from work late, we would still have something to eat. It's what any responsible person would do. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. What if Kevin gets food poisoning? What would you do then? Kathy, he won't get food poisoning. The food is only a day old. Why do you think restaurants even offered a box of unfinished food? You're overreacting. You don't know for sure that he won't get food poisoning. Are you sure you can see bacteria and viruses? That your eyes are microscopes? Nobody can see them, so there's no way to know for sure. That's why I'm telling you to be more careful with what you feed him. Can you please not let your poor person mentality put Kevin in danger? Poor person mentality? I'm just being economical. We can't afford to buy fresh ingredients every day. That's what I mean. Poor person mentality. You're being too frugal and Kevin's suffering for it. You're going to be his wife and he needs you to support him. Kevin works hard at his job and he's on the fast track to move up in the company. So there's no need to worry about money. I'm sure he makes much more than what your father has ever made. Kevin's on a different level. Everyone in my family is. I'm only telling you that it's completely okay to invest money in your health. It's even encouraged. Not only for Kevin's sake, but for yours too. No reason to be lashing out at me like that. Okay, got it. I'll make something fresh for dinner every day, and I will throw away whatever we don't eat, just like you did for us today. Can you please just stop talking about my dad like that? What? You're telling me what to do? You really have some nerve. If you'd been able to take care of things properly in the first place, we wouldn't be here, would we? Can you please not act like this is my problem? This is all you're doing. You're the one with a problem to solve. I mean, I'm the one going out of my way to help you out. If anything, you're being rather rude. I wish you learned some manners. Okay, I hear you. Do you really? I wonder. I said I won't cook with leftovers anymore. I said I will throw away any used food. Only the freshest food for Kevin. Got it. Ah, I see. All right, I'll be checking in with Kevin to see if you're actually following through. So don't even think of lying to me. Oh, and if you really don't like to cook, then I suggest that you quit your job and learn to like making food. And focus more on all the other chores you should be doing. I expect you to think a little bit more about what it means to be a good wife, because it sure looks like you haven't been taking it seriously enough. Hi, Kevin. Are you going to work late again today?
Nope. I'm actually on my way home right now. What's up?
You won't believe it, or you actually probably will. Your mom let herself into our house again. I'm so fed up with her. Not just with how she talks to me, but what she does too. She threw out all the leftovers from our fridge into the trash. Need I say more? I was going to use those to cook dinner for us tonight, but I guess we need to go get takeout or something.
Sheesh, the fridge this time, huh? Last week she went through our towels and left only the unused ones for us. So wasteful.
And the week before that, she tossed out all our old sheets. And before that, our slippers.
Actually, if you think about it, this is great. It's like we're royalty living in a castle. We have someone making sure that we only have the freshest everything.
Kevin, stop playing around. I'm serious.
Okay, sorry. I'll try talking to her again when I get home.
Is it even worth trying? I don't even know anymore.
What do you mean?
You tried talking to her the other day, right? And I think about 5 times before that? But nothing's changed. What's next? Is she gonna throw out our TV because it's not HD enough?
The last time I talked to her, I told her face to face loud and clear. There's no way she would have misinterpreted what I said.
No, Kevin, I'm not blaming you. That's not what I mean. If all that talking hasn't been working with her, maybe nothing will. I guess there's nothing we can do.
No, we shouldn't give up. At least not yet. I still have some other ideas I'd like to try. I'll try to convince her again. Just let me try again.
Hey, Kevin, can you answer me honestly?
Yeah, why so serious all of a sudden? I mean, more serious.
Do you think I'm too stingy? Like, do I act like we're poor?
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Like, do you think I hoard stuff too much and go too much out of my way to use things until they're virtually unusable? Like I'm a pack rat?
A pack rat? Not really. The thought never crossed my mind. I appreciate you not being wasteful with our stuff, and I've never thought you went overboard. Why? Did someone say something to you? Oh, wait. It was my mom, wasn't it? Sounds like her.
Yeah, it was. Normally, I don't let her get to me, but this one kind of hit home. She told me that I act like we have no money and that would eventually cause you to be unhappy.
What the hell? There's no way I would think that. That's a messed up thing to say.
Well, my family has been really poor ever since I was a kid, and everyone in my family had to help my dad out with his job. He raised my sister and me all by himself, so we needed all the help he could get. So it's not surprising if my family's attitude towards money is completely different from yours. And it kind of makes sense that your mom would have at least a little disdain for me. I mean, I get that any mother wouldn't want another person to drag her son down.
No, I don't think any of this because of you. You don't have to blame yourself for anything. My mom hasn't worked a day in her life. So there's no way for her to really understand. I guess you can say she was really spoiled. Everything was basically given to her, so she doesn't know what it's like to have to earn a living. So try not let it get to you, alright? I'll talk to my mom.
Okay, I know I shouldn't worry about it. I know it's not my fault. But regardless, it's a terrible feeling to know my dad's being disrespected after everything he did for me and my sister.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll talk to my mom again, and I'll tell her flat out that she's being a pain, and unreasonable, and disrespectful and hurtful.
Thanks, Kevin. I hope she'll change this time. There's no way she'll ever listen to me, so it's up to you.
Got it. Leave it to me.
Kathy, sorry I missed your call. I'm at work right now. What? Did you just say that you're still working? What's that supposed to mean? What's wrong with working? Don't you remember that I told you to quit your job and focus on your housework? If you don't take care of things at the house, who will? Kevin's busy with his own job, so somebody's got to hold down the fort. I'm not really the type to want to nag, but you're not making it easy for me, Alicia. Help me out here. I don't want to nag, and you don't want to be nagged at. Help us both out here. Kathy, you know I can't just quit my job. I just don't have that luxury. My dad's depending on me. We're already understaffed, and if I leave, then I'm afraid he'll probably have to sell off his company. What's with that tone? Do you think I don't know how the world works? You're being very condescending. Don't worry, I'm thinking as hard as I can of ways to make this work. Well, until then, Kevin will still have to live in that garbage dump that your house is right now. How do you think you'll handle that? You need a solid plan. Do you even have a plan? You always tell me I'll figure something out, or don't worry, things will work themselves out. It's always some kind of optimistic fantasy, never anything concrete. So if you don't tell me step by step what you plan to do, how do you expect me to believe you? Hold on, now wait a minute, Kathy. My dad's business is going through a really rough time, and everyone in my family is working as hard as they can to help save the company. So if I quit now, it's going to affect a lot of people. Not just me, not just my sister, but if the whole company goes down, all the staff will have to look elsewhere for a job. Doesn't sound like my problem, and I don't think it sounds like yours either. Huh? What do you mean, huh? You're really hard-headed. What about your responsibility to your home? Why aren't you prioritizing Kevin? That's your role as his wife. He needs you to keep things orderly at home so he can focus at work. He can't be worrying about things you should be taking care of.
I understand that I'm responsible for things at home too, but I cannot just turn my back on my family. They need me.
But like I said, that's not your problem. That's your dad's problem to solve, right? Use that brain of yours and think of something. You don't need to keep worrying about how your dad's business is doing. You were never good at business anyway.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Excuse me, but I've been working with my dad my whole life. I know the ins and outs of his business and what it takes for it to succeed.
I meant what I said. Do something else. Your talents belong elsewhere.
Why do you keep ridiculing my dad? You barely even know each other, and it seems you have so much to say about him. You can go ahead and talk all you want about me, but my dad doesn't deserve any of your trash talk. He raised 2 kids all on his own, so he deserves all the respect in the world. Imagine if someone spoke that way about your family. It hurts when you say things like that.
Hurt? If anyone's getting hurt, it's me. I'm stressing out because I don't have the confidence that you'll take good enough care of Kevin. Like you said, your dad's business is struggling, right? But that doesn't matter to me. My son is all that matters, and you need to take care of him. If you leave, they just need to find someone to replace you.
You think it's that easy, don't you? You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no idea what it's like to run a business and work every day, and come home tired, knowing the next morning you have to go at it again. And all the while raising 2 kids. You have no clue how hard that is, do you?
Of course I don't. I was never poor and don't really care to bother about things that poor people do or think about. So I guess we agree on something there. I really don't know what it's like to have a job. Do you expect me to feel bad about that? Because I don't. But anyway, all you're really complaining about is that you're having a hard time, right? So why don't you just do what you said earlier? Why don't you convince your father to sell the company or something? I'm not telling you to work harder. I'm telling you to work smarter. What's so mean about suggesting that? It's your dad's business that's the problem. It's not about you not working hard enough. Hey, why are you being so quiet? Are you ignoring me? Hey, don't you know it's rude to ignore someone? Learn some manners. I see how it is. I go out on a limb for you and I get 0 thanks. You're really being ungrateful, you know that?
Did Kevin talk to you by any chance?
First, answer my question. Why were you ignoring me?
No, this is about cleaning out our fridge without our permission. Kevin must have tried to reach out to you.
Ah, yes, he did yesterday. And why do you ask?
What do you mean, and? Don't you have anything to say about it?
I told him exactly what I'm telling you right now. What I've been telling you over and over. If I'm so insufferable and you don't want me to take care of your house, then get your act together, the both of you. Actually, you in particular. And don't just tell me. You have to show me to convince me. Is that all you wanted to ask me?
You're leaving out a lot. Kevin must have brought a lot more to your attention. Kathy, you're really going overboard with your expectations of me. They're beyond common sense. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a little frugal. We're thinking about the future as a family, so keeping tabs on your finances is important. And it's not like we're going to extremes and eating expired food just to pinch pennies, just normal leftovers. So if you go around and throw away our food without at least talking to us about it, you might as well be throwing away our money. We don't have the luxury of being able to go and buy new ingredients every day, whenever we want.
Like I said, you're talking and acting as if you're poor. You're not going to be poor anymore once you become Kevin's wife. Stop thinking like you're poor and your home will stop looking like it. Otherwise, it's just going to get worse. Get out of that mindset. You want to be an accepted member of my family someday, right? So don't you think you haven't been conducting yourself very well? Going around telling me you have the right to do this, I don't have the right to do that. Excuse me, but you're the one who's trying to marry into my family, not the other way around. I have no interest in being associated or getting along with your side, so it's no matter to me. You've been so disrespectful. Weren't you at least raised to have some manners? Or are you telling me that you turned out this way because your father is poor? Are poor people like you? Do they talk like they're better than everyone else? I'm glad my children didn't turn out like that. I mean, how could they? They were very well provided for.
Didn't I tell you to stop mentioning my father? Keep him out of this.
If you want me to stop, then at least think about what I'm saying. You think you're the only victim here. What about Kevin? What about me? What do you think about using him as a pawn to attack me? Despicable. You're hurting the very family you want to be a member of. I actually want to welcome you into our family. I've been very accommodating to you ever since Kevin introduced you to us, but you've been making things very difficult. Your wedding's just around the corner and... Oh, wait a minute, I know. Why don't you take this opportunity to call off the wedding? If you're considering it, of course.
Huh? Wait. What did you just say?
From the way I see things, it doesn't look like you're very satisfied living with Kevin. Am I right? Oh, well, let's not forget that you've never really been fond of me.
No, what are you even saying? You're putting words in my mouth. I'm not dissatisfied at all. Whatever made you think that? Kevin treats me right, and I hope he thinks the same of me. We're very happy together. And we love each other very much. So there's no reason to call off the wedding. A lot of people are looking forward to it. My dad is the most excited out of anyone I know about the wedding. He keeps telling me how he can't wait to see me in my wedding dress and how proud he is to walk me down the aisle. And I'm so honored that he'd do that for me. He raised me right to believe that I can achieve anything with hard work and dedication.
Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. I'm sick of hearing all this poor people talk. Hard work and dedication. I'll never even be able to understand your language.
Wow, Kathy, that's really hurtful. You really despise my family, don't you?
I said stop this, now! If you really want to marry Kevin, then stop seeing your family and focus on ours. Right away, your choice. If you agree to that, I'll be at your house tomorrow. And train you until you're worthy of my family. You won't regret it.
Training? What do you mean by training?
Stop that too. Stop talking back and fall in line if you want to marry Kevin. Oh, and I want to make this crystal clear. Your family won't need to attend the wedding. Aren't they busy with working all the time anyway? They're just going to end up being inconvenienced. You said it yourself, right? The company's in a bind, so they might as well stay focused.
We can't do that.
Alicia, we do not want our relatives to see us in the same room as poor people. My family has standards. High standards. My husband is a CEO and my son is on the fast track to the top at a very elite, reputable company. So naturally, there will be many other executives at the wedding. Image is everything at these kind of events. Your family will be way out of their league there. So if you're really telling me that you want to marry Kevin, no matter what, then I'm willing to allow it just as long as you're willing to do as I say. As for your father, I am not feeling so generous. His presence will embarrass us. Furthermore, it will be humiliating for him if he attends.
No, there is no way. He is definitely coming to my wedding. I can't even imagine him not being there. I want him and my relatives to be there when I get married. I'm not going to leave them out of this. This is an important day for me, too.
Alicia, let me put it this way. If he goes, I won't.
Huh? Did I hear you right?
If I don't attend, what do you think will happen? My husband will be outraged. You haven't seen him mad. And if he finds out it's your fault, which he will eventually, you'll be on the receiving end of all his anger. You wouldn't want that, would you? Would you be able to explain yourself then? Seems like a whole lot of risk just to have your family attend the wedding.
Kathy, why are you so against me getting married to Kevin? What have I ever done to you? I've been nothing but nice to you.
Like I said, my family has the highest of standards and rules are rules. My husband follows them, I follow them, and we raised Kevin to do the same. We all do our part for our family, and you'll do the same if you want to marry Kevin. But unfortunately, up to now, it seems you haven't been able to grasp that concept at all, which is why I'm offering to educate you. But if you at least understand my offer to you, show me by quitting that job of yours, and report for training tomorrow.
Okay, I understand. Give me some time to think about it. It's a big decision. Kathy, sorry for the late reply. It took longer than I thought to come to a decision.
Finally! Took you long enough. I was already making plans to call the venue to talk about cancellation. So, what's it gonna be? I've been waiting forever. Let me guess. I bet you're just gonna tell me, sorry, I was busy with work, blah, blah, blah. Am I right? I told you to just quit your job. It's that simple. You're seriously so stubborn.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, what's it going to be? You won't quit your job, so that means I won't be at your wedding, right? And then my husband's gonna go berserk and Kevin's day will be ruined, right?
Before we talk about that, I want to make sure of something.
What is it? Are you trying to take up more of my precious time? You're so good at that.
Kathy, you hate poor people, don't you? It's pretty obvious.
What kind of a question is that? You know that getting along with them is impossible for me. I just don't speak the same language as them. There's no way we can relate to each other. So I have no issues with looking down on them. Doesn't really matter to me.
But why? My dad works so hard. He's been working hard for so many years. When I remember that, I'm reminded of how important it is not to be wasteful, and I'm thankful for that. If something should ever happen to Kevin, for example, if he ever lost his job for any reason, then I'll be able to support him until we get back on our feet again. That's what I'm working for and how I choose to live my life with him. That may not be good enough for your standards, but I'm doing everything I can to be able to protect my new family. And I respect and thank my dad for showing me what it takes to do this. I know that life isn't easy all the time, and there will be difficult patches. But despite all of that, you still speak ill of him.
What kind of question is that? Of course I do. How is that my problem? You see, my husband is built different. He's nothing like your useless father. He's never had to worry about not having enough money, and he's never had to burden his children with financial woes. We've never had to go through difficult patches because we're just different. Isn't it obvious? You can't even compare your father to my husband. They don't even belong in the same breath. If you bring your family to the wedding, all you'll end up doing is inconveniencing everyone there, including Kevin. Do you want to embarrass him too? You should be ashamed of yourself. You're being so selfish.
I see what I need to do. I need to get you to accept my father for who he is. If I can't get you to respect what he's done, I need to get you to at least accept him as a person.
Accept? No amount of convincing could get me to accept him. So filthy. I do not want that kind of energy to rub off on our family.
Are you really sure you mean that? What you just said?
Huh? What's with that bad attitude of yours again?
Kathy, I'm really worried about you. I'm concerned that you'll never get along with my dad, and that it's stressing you out because you won't be able to enjoy the wedding.
Alicia, you are so stubborn. Are you still convinced that your father's going to the wedding? I'm going, of course I'm going. You're delusional if you think he's going instead of me. You really don't understand anything, do you? You say that I'll never get along with your father as if it affects me. I don't care. Not my problem. Not now, not in a million years.
My dad is going to the wedding. You're not. I'm inviting him, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Alicia, you really think I'm kidding, don't you? I do not want to be seen with your poor father. I refuse to even be in the same room as him. If he attends, I won't. But I've already explained to you what'll happen if I don't. It's for your sake. We've been over this.
Oh, so you won't be going then. Glad to hear that you've had a change of heart. I'd be more than happy if you didn't go.
Huh? Alicia, you're being strange right now.
It doesn't matter to me. As you put it, it's not my problem if you don't go.
What? All right, fine, I won't attend. You know what's gonna happen, right? We went over this. It's not simply a matter of admitting that this is your fault. I wish it was gonna be that easy for you. You're all right with that, right? I gotta go right now to explain all of this to my husband in excruciating detail. You're really gonna regret this. Oh, and be careful not to spread your poor germs everywhere.
Funny you mention your husband. He's actually reading this entire conversation right now.
Come again? What did you just say? There's no way. Alicia, you're really being weird right now. What is going on with you? My husband is at work right now. You're seriously so annoying, going so far as to tell blatant lies like that. What's with you?
Right. Since he's at work, I emailed or talked to him. Technology is great. I talked to Kevin about it and he said it was okay. It's a pretty important matter after all. And your husband seemed to agree. So he told me it was okay for him to contact him even while he was at work. So I've taken the liberty to send him screenshots of all our conversations. This one too, so there's no doubt.
That's absurd. You're lying. There's no way.
I'm not lying. Whether or not you believe me is up to you.
Of course I don't believe you.
Your husband has a message for you.
If he has a message for me, he can tell me himself.
I'm sure he will sooner or later, but he's talking with me right now.
Why would he be talking with you?
Because he's concerned about me. He was so surprised to hear that you've been so hard on me this whole time behind his back. He says you're shaming the whole family with your classist nonsense.
Hey, Alicia, stop messing around.
I'm not messing around. You sure haven't been. Your husband just finished reading everything, so now I'm just passing along his feedback.
Sarcasm doesn't always communicate clearly in text, you know. I don't want to be misunderstood.
Well, that's your problem, not mine. It's unfortunately too late to have a change of heart.
But, all of this is my way of worrying about you. I don't want you to suffer. If you don't appreciate what I did, I'll apologize. Looking back, I think I did say a little too much. If you want me to apologize, I will.
If I want you to apologize.
No, I mean, I will apologize. I don't want us to get into a fight.
That's what I thought. But you had no problem saying nasty things about me and my family before. Do you think you can get off easy with just an apology?
That's not it. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't need your apology. Kevin's father already took care of it and apologized for you. He wants us to go through with the wedding with no consideration for you and with his full blessing. He said you ought to have much more awareness of the world around you with sympathy for people going through hard times. He at least is looking forward to meeting my family.
What the? How dare he? Alicia, please tell me this is all a joke. It's a joke, right? Just a really elaborate joke. It looks like you put in a lot of work and planning into it. It's actually quite impressive and I applaud you.
I told you, this is no joke. This is reality. You really are dense, aren't you? Think about it. Your husband, as busy as he is at work, took precious time out of his day to hear me out. And you still don't feel 1 ounce of remorse. Unbelievable.
Okay, I got it. All of this is my fault. Happy? Did you get your laughs? Joke's over, everyone. Can you just make sure to tell him that it was an elaborate joke? I don't want him to keep thinking that this was all real. Don't worry, I won't go to your house anymore without asking, and I won't go rummaging through your stuff and throwing things away. And I'll stop nagging, I promise. I was actually just joking around with you two when I was doing all that. You don't need to make this such a big deal. Right, Alicia? We're family. We can joke around with each other. Please tell my husband that this was all a misunderstanding.
Huh? A request? You're requesting me to do something for you? Where is this coming from? If you hadn't been so cold-hearted to me to begin with, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Can you please not make this my problem too? You not owning up to your actions shows a lack of respect, especially to people who are worried about you.
What do you mean by worried? Who's worried about me?
Your husband, for starters. Here's a few things he's been saying. First, he says prejudiced words and actions are unacceptable. He says my father and my family don't deserve any of your contempt. My father took the initiative to create his own company and raise 2 daughters. Your husband says that he of all people knows how hard it is to run a business and that he has nothing but respect for my father and his hard work. He says he was penniless when he started his business as well, so your unkind words are directed not only at my family, but at him as well. He put blood, sweat, and tears into making this company what it is today, the same as my father. And that hard work and determination is what allowed you to have such a comfortable life. You have no right to judge my father. And your words and actions have all been completely despicable.
He didn't really say all that, did he?
Of course he did. It looks like you married a really great man. It's too bad he didn't rub off on you. Oh, and he also says that the 2 of you are going to have a very long conversation when he gets home. I have to say, I'm a little worried about you two at this point. I doubt that's going to be a very fun conversation.
This is all your fault, Alicia.
Excuse me?
This is your fault. All you had to do was listen to me. It was that simple, but you had to go and make things complicated. I was only worried about you. I didn't want you to have to experience difficulty if you didn't have to. But instead, you turn around and make a mess of my family. I'll sue you, you hear me? I'm taking you to court. I'll ruin your father's business, just you watch.
Do you want me to forward that to your husband too?
I was just kidding. It was just another joke. You seemed pretty worked up, so I just wanted to lighten the mood.
Oh, sorry, too late, I just sent it. Anyway, you can go ahead and try to take down my dad's company. You'll have to get through me and my sister first. We'll protect your dad at all costs.
Okay. It's my fault.
When Kevin's dad got back home, he was furious at Kathy. After speaking with her and Kevin, he found out everything that Kathy had done. And as a result, they're currently in the process of getting a divorce. As for me, Kevin and I called off our engagement. Unfortunately, Kevin became a spendthrift, but I can see that it's largely because of Kathy's influence on him. And as a result of that, he's fallen in some serious debt. At least, that's what I heard from the grapevine. In other news, I'm still working at my dad's company. And things have finally become stable again, thankfully. Oh, and I found someone new. He's a coworker. He's really sweet and caring. We got engaged and are in the middle of planning our wedding. But I'm still frugal, and I'm proud to live that way. It helps that Kevin's dad complimented me many times on that and kindly let me know that it's definitely not a bad way to live. Thanks for watching until the end. If this video was refreshing, then feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments section. See you at the next video. Bye!